Holy shit, I'm gonna come.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Jesus. This is not starting well.
Oh my god.
I was like, okay, let's just crack a LaCroix for the opening to this new podcast. Hey guys, I'm the Kino Cowboy.
And I'm Dylan, and this is the Harbor Podcast. Woo!
God.
We're never gonna have a good opening, I swear to God. It's never gonna happen.
No. Okay, today's episode is brought to you by... No, I wish, dude. I'm waiting every day.
That one.
Oh, this... No. No. LaCroix, please sponsor me and him.
Yeah, me.
I drink this every day for you. Jesus, let's actually do this.
Okay.
Oh my God. It's all out of the way.
So 2019, over with. Done.
Finally.
Dunzo.
We're a little bit into 2020 now.
We just passed the month of January. I feel like a whole year, honestly. It's a long ass month.
It is the longest month
It was a really long month.
I've ever
A
experienced.
lot of shit happened in it too. That was
It felt like 3 months.
yeah, it was too much.
And nothing good came out, so I just rewatched a bunch of shit that I saw earlier in like December and November.
You didn't see Doolittle? Doolittle?
No, I rewatched. Let's see, what did I rewatch? 1917. I saw Jojo Rabbit again, and I saw Knives Out again because I was like, well, there's nothing to see.
I still haven't seen 1917.
I've seen it 2 times, and we'll get into that in a little bit because that is like.
Speaking of what we're going to get into in a little bit, what are we going to get into in a little bit?
We're going to get into our favorites of the past year, 2019, and as well as the entire decade, which I've always wanted to do, and finally I have the means to do it.
It's going to be a big one.
So
it's going to be a big
physically write stuff down like a caveman because obviously I use my nice, beautiful iPhone to film this beautiful piece of
It
art.
looks beautiful, honestly.
And so, yeah, we can get into it. Wait, first, I was thinking about this before we started.
Yeah.
What is a movie that you never got to see in theaters from any time period that you would want to see on the biggest screen possible?
Blade Runner, 1982.
Okay, they re-released Blade Runner in like 2016.
I know, and I totally missed it. Missed it.
I was going to say that is one of the best like things I could have seen. That, and I saw 2001 in theaters.
Ooh.
That was sick.
Yeah.
Now,
well, what have you not seen that you want to see?
Honestly, I'd like to see any of the original Star Wars.
I would say that's what my mind immediately goes to. Is like
it's
Empire
like when the '97 re-releases came out in theaters. My mom was like, "Oh, he's too young. We'll just go without him." Even though I was 3, so I probably wouldn't have remembered it anyway. But, so yeah, probably Empire, especially for Cloud City at the end.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's what I want. Yeah, I would love to have seen that.
Now, what's a movie that you've seen that you would love to see on the big screen that you've already seen on the big screen?
Again? Like if I could pick... Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. There's a lot that I've seen that I'd love to see again. Ooh.
What sucks is that I could pick so many like Kino classics, but like deep down in my heart, I have to go with Revenge of the Sith.
Dude, Revenge of the Sith.
Because the opening, when it opens over Coruscant, dude, it's like booming.
Oh
and
my
like,
God.
It's just like I would be 11 years old all over again.
No, if we're going that route, I would have to do Spider-Man too. I remember seeing that, and my God.
Man,
seeing it for the first time at theater.
I remember,
was just
yeah,
fucking or Batman Begins. I remember seeing that. Shit changed my life.
I didn't get to see Batman Begins.
Oh my God, that shit was awesome.
Yeah, although here's the thing, Spider-Man, the first one was the first PG-13 movie I saw.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
My dad took me to it and didn't tell my mom. He's like, well, when we were leaving, she's like, what are you going to go see? And he's like, well, we're just going to wing it. And I'm like, well, what are we going to see, Dad? He's like, well, we'll see Spider-Man or Star Wars. I was like, I don't think Star Wars is out yet. And I don't think he ever was planning on seeing Star Wars. And so we saw Spider-Man, and then obviously I loved it because I was a 7-year-old child. And that my mom was like so pissed because she was a little overprotective. I don't know. It was, I was a 7-year-old kid. But then they rented it when it came out.
Hey, it gets pretty intense.
And she was like, when it gets to the wrestling scene, all the girls are like calling him names and they're like in bikinis and shit. She like gives this look to my dad. I'll never forget that. I was like, hey man, this is a great film. But when 2 came around, the hype was real, and like my dad was like, "We're going opening weekend."
Yeah.
And normally he's not the guy who would see like superhero movies and shit, and that's, I mean, those movies transcend the average like superhero movie, and so like that's such a solid choice to want to see in theaters again.
I would love to.
So anyway, that's my question. So now we can start, I guess, with our favorites of 2019.
Favorites of 2019. Oh,
whip it out.
It's a big one. It's a big one. You want to go first? You want to go one by one?
Yeah.
Like start from 10?
Start from 10,
okay.
Yeah. No, you go first.
Okay, you want to go first? So, this was a tough one, but I'm going to say my number 10 of the year was Jojo Rabbit.
Okay.
Jojo Rabbit's
on my top 10 list, but I'm not going to say where yet.
Number 10 was Jojo Rabbit was good. It was, I don't know, I love Taika Waititi. There's so much heart in all of his movies, and there were moments in that movie that it's so funny, and then it just, like, immediate, like, gut punch.
Yeah.
Overall, I don't know if it's gonna last with me. That's probably why it's so like low on my list.
It's already lasted with me.
But really, okay,
I rewatched it because it's like I like the guy. I loved Thor Ragnarok. I thought that was easily one of the best MCU movies, and I love What We Do in the Shadows. I still need to see his other stuff.
Boy is the best one.
But I was going into this. I was like, okay, I like the concept, but I think it's gonna be a novelty. I think it's gonna be kind of something that's like. I expected like kind of like a movie that made me laugh at the moment, and then later I'd be like, well, whatever. But then it turned out to be like so much more than that, and it felt like. I mean, it was beautiful. There were so many beautiful moments, especially Scarlett Johansson's character.
She really was the heart of the movie.
She was the heart, definitely, in the way she cared about her son and just wanted him to like realize
that he's fucking up, basically,
and like. Man, spoilers, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to go into spoilers?
I mean, it's just like there's that moment in that film.
Yeah, just like the shoes. That's all I gotta say is the shoes.
Yeah, when he sees the shoes, I was like, this is next level.
Yeah,
and just the way that like a lot of the like more like satirical like comedy with like how Germany's portrayed, it almost like seems like. It's through the lens of this little boy and how he sees shit. Yeah. And like, it almost really starts to fade away more and more as it gets more serious between him and the Jewish girl.
Yeah, I agree. What was her name again?
Oh my
god. Whatever.
I can't remember. Yeah. But
I do love the ending shot of them walking out and the hero starts playing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. And they're dancing. Nice. It's nice.
So
it's
beautiful.
A nice beautiful moment. Yeah, so that's my number 10. That's it's what I expect from Taika. It's funny. It's really funny. And it's not your typical like zingy type of humor. It's very like drawn out. A lot of it's like deadpan, just like straight comedy. And a lot of heart in it.
Well, yeah,
There's a lot of moments that you're just like...
The first 20 minutes was exactly what I was expecting it to be.
Very Moonrise Kingdom.
Dude, it felt like he was kind of influenced by Wes Anderson.
He had to.
And it's just... I was like, the first 20 minutes, I was like, okay, this is exactly what I paid for it. But then it kept expanding on its concept and, like, being serious when it needed to be and, like, being so cute and heartfelt. And I'm a sucker for coming-of-age movies, even if he's only, like, a 10-year-old. It's still pretty... I mean, the growth he has as a character was astounding to me. And I think it grew on me even more after the theater. And then I rewatched it. I was like, okay, this is... right up my alley. Like it hits a lot of points that I like. So
is that on your list?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When we get
to it, I mean, okay. We've already really talked about it, but like, yeah, dude, I loved that movie.
Okay.
But
so that was my number 10. What's your number 10? I know we're gonna have a lot of overlapping ones. So
no, you won't have this one.
Okay.
This one is a TV movie, which I was hesitant to put, but I enjoyed it a lot, and this is unorthodox because. The rest of these movies are probably a little more, I don't know, kino, as one would say. But number 10 for me was Steven Universe, the movie.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And that was a solid film. And here's the complaint I have is that it's not as cinematic as it could have been. It very much was like a TV movie. Mm-hmm. I guess I can't fault it for that because it is a TV movie. Yeah. I just wish it would have went a little far beyond.
Mm-hmm.
But what it makes up with is its fucking soundtrack. I've
Really?
listened to the songs from that movie like 50 fucking times. It's so catchy and it's so good, and the emotions are real.
I have never once seen an episode of Steven Universe. I don't even know what it's about.
Well, I was just always like, the show, I was just like, this looks fucking stupid. And even though I'm like Cartoon Network cucked as fuck, I was like, well, I don't know. And then my friend Laura just put it on the first episode because she didn't think I would just watch it on my own. And then we watched like 10 episodes
Really?
in a day. I was like, this is easy and digestible. But then like halfway through the first season, that's when the plot starts to hit. And
Okay.
like it just keeps opening up and expanding. And like you learn more and more and more. And like soon it becomes like this fucking cosmic adventure.
Okay.
You're like, oh shit.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, so number 10, Steven Universe the movie. I highly recommend. Obviously, you need to watch the movie or the TV show first.
Yeah.
But solid
Solid?
enough to put on that list because that's how much I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, okay. Well, hell yeah.
Yeah. So now we're on number 9.
Number 9? Okay.
Go ahead.
So my number 9 is... Where is it? It is Marriage Story.
Fuck. I still haven't seen that movie. I've been planning to, and I've been planning to, and I just keep forgetting, and I feel bad. Why do you like the Marriage Story without too many spoilers?
I don't know. It's just real. It's very... That one... Do you know that one scene got memed on Twitter?
Yeah,
like,
I tried
over
to
and
avoid
over
it,
and
though,
over
because
again.
I didn't
It's
want
like a whole
to,
thing now. It's... That's like they're blowing up, blah, blah, blah. The whole movie is just two people realizing that they are not good for each other,
Yeah.
and how like getting an actual divorce and getting lawyers can make shit actually worse. Like you don't even feel that way, and people are just like gaslighting each other,
Yeah.
and it's I don't know. It's a really
Sounds
good.
kind of stressful.
It's a really sad, stressful movie, but the ending is so. I don't know. It's like this. There's this bittersweet, like just. Trying to describe it without like getting into spoilers.
Yeah.
No, they're just like they're really good. Both of them are really good. There are scenes that made me legit cry, laugh. It's a really funny movie.
Okay.
And Adam Driver is like just. I mean, Scarlett Johansson's great, but Adam Driver is just like he is an actor that is going to do so many great
She's
things.
established as great, dude. Adam Driver, Star Wars is not the end of this man's career
Dude.
in any way, shape, or form.
He knocks it out of the park. There are scenes that you just like cannot take your eyes off of what he's doing. And he may not even be doing anything. He might just be doing a look, and you're just like, oh my god, how does he get that look down? You know, it's really good. It's just a drama about two people and a kid,
So. Okay.
and they're just fighting over that kid and getting a divorce. It's
Okay.
sad. It's
I
really
didn't
good.
even know
though.
there was a kid. That's how little I've seen.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
just yeah.
Excellent.
That's all I got to say about it without spoiling anything from it. So now you're number 9.
My number 9. Now, you have to realize, all these movies I highly enjoyed. Like, these aren't just like, number 1 was fantastic and number 10 was okay.
Mm-hmm.
These are all, like, I saw, like, dozens of movies.
Yeah.
Like, I saw, like,
My top 10 are like I watched
I
these.
saw, like, 40 or 50 movies in theaters.
Uh-huh.
These are, like, creme de la creme. Like, I really loved these movies. So you might be surprised that this is, like, number 9, but like I loved it. But number 9 is The Lighthouse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So don't think it's like
Okay.
me like disparaging.
Dun dun dun.
No. I it grew on me, and The Lighthouse is like, to me, I like it more than The Witch. I don't know if you agree, but
I agree.
okay.
I agree.
Because to me, I like to view it as like this movie from the 30s from an alternate dimension that we weren't supposed to see.
Yeah.
And when I watch it like that, it just like, it hits. I have like an imagination. That's why certain movies are better to me than they are to other people. I view them through these lenses, and like, I have this like, almost like headcanon of like,
Where that came from.
yeah.
And where it's supposed to be.
Like Beyond the Black Rainbow and like certain movies like that. But The Lighthouse it's hypnotic, and it's like droning, and it's a nightmare without being like really scary, but it's like
I mean, this is gonna sound like a bad word that I'm describing it as, but it's like insufferable. But like, no, but like I love it for that reason.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean,
like,
what would you think it would be like to live on that rock with
Yeah.
the constant splashing and dampness and like, yeah, dude, just constantly droning, dude. It's madness.
the more that I watched it, I've seen it like 5 times now. The more I
mermaid
like it.
pussy.
Dude, no, not just that. I never thought I'd see a jerk off session montage where he's crying, screaming, and there's mermaid vagina, and there's craziness happening, all while he's trying to get off, and he can't, and he screams. I don't know, and it's a whole montage, and I felt it. I never thought I'd feel a moment with phone where I'm like, dude can't get off, fuck.
And then, but also, just the cherry on top is that it's Robert Pattinson. So
Yeah.
I'm already like, whew.
So good. The more and more I watch it too, Willem Dafoe's great, but Robert Pattinson is like, I mean, he's the lead, but
I'm just
God,
like,
he
fuck,
he
this sucks for this
fucking.
guy.
But does it? Is he the like?
I
That's
know,
the more
yeah,
I've watched
I don't
it. Like,
know,
is
yeah.
he the problem? I don't know. I can't tell
And-
where the ending or where like the real and where the fake begins and where the gaslighting
Why
starts.
Yeah. it's
Because
beautiful.
the more I've watched it, you pick up on more shit Willem Dafoe's character says. I'm like, and you're like, wait a minute, that's not right.
the
What
fuck
are you
is going
saying?
on?
Yeah, it's some crazy shit. I love that movie.
I'm
If that
stoked
tells
on-
you-
I
If that tells you where mine.
I picked up a physical copy. I'm ready to
Uh.
rewatch it, and towards the end, I guess, when Pattinson, I can't remember what's his name in the movie.
His name is Winslow.
Okay.
Thomas. Tom, because they're both named Tom.
Because they're yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
First it was Ephraim, but then it was Tom.
Just okay. Basically, what I'm saying is like the last 5 minutes is
Oh God.
the kind of shit that I'm always hoping to see in like my movies that I go to see. That I'm like, okay, I want them to go to the next level. And
Talking about
it's like,
next level, I was watching it with Jake and his girlfriend, and they hadn't seen it before,
Yeah.
and they were totally down with the weirdness that before that.
Yeah.
But the scene that got them is whenever Robert Pattinson's like, "Woof, dog," and he's just like, "Woof, woof, woof," and then next scene you just see Willem Dafoe crawling on all fours, and he's like, "Woof, dog."
God.
And they were both just like, "What the fuck are we? We're not supposed to be watching this. This is not-
It's forbidden. I swear. Yeah.
it was just like that was a perfect reaction to watching that movie. Was them. It was great. Oh gosh. So hey, that was your number 9. Okay.
Number 9.
Do you want to go to number 8?
No, it's your number 9. What's your number 9? Oh wait,
Mine-
you already said it.
Yeah, mine was
Oh, my bad.
Marriage Story.
Oh yeah, duh.
Yeah. So number 8.
Shit. Yeah, go for it.
All right. That's Endgame. Avengers Endgame.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. That movie. I love that movie. I honestly, I think I've probably seen that movie more than any of the other movies on my list.
I haven't seen it since theaters.
I've seen it like at least 10 times.
Now, it's a spectacle, and we just have to commend them for like sticking the landing.
I mean,
being that
that
successful.
should be praised. Like, I don't know, that's crazy. 22
I
movies?
prefer Infinity War.
Oh, yeah?
But I really did enjoy Avengers Endgame, and I like that like the middle act of the movie is them like doing these like time heists, and it's like different.
Well, I like
It's not
it.
the same old shit.
I like it too because I mean, the first like hour and like 20 minutes is just conversations about dealing. Like, I like that. Like,
Dealing
I'm glad they
with the
finally were like
aftermath.
they let most of that movie breathe. You know, there's
The
not,
finale
there's
to,
not
like-
a big action scene until the finale.
Yeah.
Really, like
the finale to their 22 movie arc is like breathing room for like the first hour of the movie.
yeah, and
what
like
the fuck.
the scene, like there's like the small scene towards like the very beginning where Natasha is just like sitting there. She's like keeping track of shit, and she's just like welling up, and she's trying to eat a
Yeah.
sandwich. And Steve comes in, and and she's like, "If you try to see the better side of this, I'm gonna smack you with this sandwich." And then she just kind of she doesn't cry, but you can see it. It was just so good.
Joy Hudson pulling through in 2019.
God, dude,
dog.
she's had like I think she's on
2019.
3 of my movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in 3 of my top 10
Dude,
movies.
it's fucking. She's awesome.
But yeah, more than that, I don't know. It just like wrapped everyone's arcs up while not like closing off. You know, there's still possibilities and shit. I don't know. It was satisfying on all levels for me.
It was
On
very
all
satisfying,
levels.
and it was one of the greatest theater experiences
Ooh,
I've ever
me
had.
too.
Because I saw it opening night, the very first showing in XD, and like everyone was the most hype I've ever seen in a theater. Like
The only thing I matched that is Star Wars
Well,
Episode 7.
Yeah,
That's the
dude,
only thing
exactly.
that matched that.
Yeah,
That's the
those
only
two are like
thing
the
that
most
matched.
hype movies
Yeah.
I've ever seen in theaters. Here's the thing: is that my mom and brother, I caught them up on all of them beforehand.
Oh, gee, like watched all of them, or
Yeah,
just
we
like
watched like all of them.
Oh, shit.
In like a 4 or 5 month span.
Damn.
And like, so a lot of my free time was going to Conway to watch it with them.
Hell
but
yeah.
it's like they hadn't seen these in theaters, any of them, except for Endgame.
That's wild.
And so when Endgame
It really
was
hit them
going
then,
on,
right?
dude, and everyone was like cheering like Banshee screaming
Oh, they
and
weren't.
shit.
They weren't.
They were
used
having
to it.
my brother, who's like 12, was having the time of his life.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It was
It's a roller
like-
coaster
They were
cinema.
they were having a blast. They couldn't believe it.
That's
and
good.
they were hyped too. I was hyped. Everyone on my row was hyped.
Everyone felt it. I mean, when fucking Steve picks up that goddamn hammer.
That, and
oh
then
my god! Come on.
As soon as the portals opened, everyone, everyone
on
in the
your
theaters
left, just
erupted.
like-
And you can't be cynical about that shit.
Yeah.
That's why you go to the movies.
You can tell they love what they do, like the Russo brothers. They love making those movies, and they make them with love, and you can tell. That's why they're good.
That is like, it's like, yeah, I love seeing shit like The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
In theaters.
I mean-
with like 2 or 3 people, and it's
Yeah.
like dark, and you're like existential,
And you're just like, you feel grimy.
you feel gross, but like the Endgame is why you still go to the fucking theater, bro.
Yeah, I
That
agree.
was the shit, and like.
I just
And I had plenty of iconic moments. You know, Tony's
the death's hit. Yeah, if we're
Tony's
gonna, I'd say. I
snap
mean,
and,
fucking. If you haven't seen that movie,
Oh
then
yeah, no,
what are you doing?
I don't give.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Tony Snap. That was it.
That
That was.
movie
That was
made
actually not even the snap. Just like the moment where he's like what got me was like, dude is dead. Afterwards, he's not. He doesn't say another word. He's like
Yeah.
dead, and it's only until before, even after Peter goes up and like is crying at him, he's still like. But it's when fucking Pepper is like, Tony, like, you can sleep now. You did it.
Fuck.
And he lets go. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, this shit got me. It gets me every single time. It gets me. It's so good.
Yeah, the only complaint I have with that movie is that Thanos is weirdly like OP in like certain scenes,
Yeah.
and also he like doesn't have all the character development that he got from Infinity War.
Now he's just a maniac still.
now he's just like a
he's a fucking mad
crazy,
dog.
like, warlord.
Yeah.
But I do love that because there were some lines in the Infinity War trailer that weren't in the movie, but I'm glad the line that he's like, "And where did that bring you?"
Right, back to me.
I'm like, yes.
I mean, talk
it's
about
like
just-
an iconic fucking line.
Surprises too, just like they killed Thanos like in the first 10 minutes of the movie. That's
Yeah.
like, what? Okay.
I was like, okay, bet.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. So that's my number 8, Avengers Endgame.
Cool.
Fucking solid. Fucking solid. That's all I
Yeah.
can say.
Okay. Now,
You're number 8.
my number 8's also controversial. Just like maybe not much more than Steven Universe, because I can't say that this is a quote unquote good movie, but
Okay.
I'm so fucking biased that it's on here. Can you guess what it is?
Fucking Jay and Silent Bob.
No, it's Godzilla King of the
Oh,
Monsters.
dude! Oh no, that's an honorable mention. If we're doing that, I love that movie.
Where I've got honorable mentions on
Okay.
here.
I love
This
that
is not
movie.
an honorable mention for me.
No,
This
that's-
is like
I love that
fucking-
movie.
I enjoyed the fuck out of it. Yes, the fucking human aspects of the movie were fucking stupid, but I'm so used to that because I've seen every single Godzilla
Yeah.
movie on Earth.
It's just about the monsters, man.
It's like above, like the human elements are actually above average. If you
I
compare it
I
to the rest
love
of
Ken
the
Watanabe's.
Oh.
Oh my god, that scene!
I love that
oh,
guy.
Holy shit, that scene where he's down
In
there
the
and he-
Hollow Earth, I'm like, whoa.
It's so fucking good.
And what's his name?
Kyle Chandler.
No, okay, I do like Kyle Chandler.
Oh, you're talking
in
about,
no,
the older guy?
Bear McCreary, the guy who did the score. He
Oh,
brought his
okay.
fucking A game.
Yeah.
And
Dude, the scores, because it brings some of the
no,
old
it's like
score back.
I love Alexandre Desplat, and I like what he did with 2014 Godzilla. To a degree, but you have to have the OG Godzilla theme,
and that's
which
that
it was
theme
lacking.
that plays.
And
there.
the
Oh.
way he composes it in this movie, it's so heavy. It's the heaviest version, and you feel the fucking weight.
I'm gonna have to rewatch this movie now. Now
I
we're talking
literally-
about it. It's been
yeah.
a while since I've
no,
seen it.
and as someone who's like, honestly,
That's like your-
I'm
yeah.
like way too obsessed with Godzilla.
Yeah.
I had like a reawakening in 2018. It's like I'd like forgotten how obsessed I was with as a kid with kaiju monsters and Godzilla and shit, and like I like rewatched all the I watched all of them, all the ones I had already seen, but also the ones I hadn't seen, and now I'm like I'm in too deep.
I'm pretty low on the like Godzilla
That
love
sucks.
list. No, like I'm just like whatever about it. But man, like movies like that, like I like them when they're good. And for me, King of Monsters was.
I'm gonna have to recommend
was a good
you
movie.
my favorite Godzilla movies.
Yeah.
But like,
And I like the cheese too. So give me some cheese.
oh
like,
yeah, no, you gotta watch Hedorah, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that one's like early 70s like Japanese environmental awareness
I mean,
mixed with like their weird like psychedelic imagery
yeah.
and stuff.
Nice.
And it's like on the nose with a lot of that shit. And it
What did you think about Hideaki Anno's 2016 Godzilla?
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I like that one a lot
That's-
too. That was a good one.
on like a technical scale, that's one of the better made Godzilla
Yeah.
films. But it's more like
It's very political. It's
I
very.
love it because
it's
I'm
very,
a fucking Evangelion maniac.
Yeah.
And it's all about the bureaucracy and the
Yeah,
insides,
it's
the way
very
that it
much
works.
like
which is
Sele
cool.
and shit. You know,
Yeah.
it's very much like the people in the room just
Yeah,
like
and they even use the bum 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 from literally from Evangelion. It's
Yeah.
the same like
really.
composer.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. And so yeah, that's a great movie. It's just the kaiju action isn't as bombastic and absurd and stupid
As the Americans.
as like well as just like a lot of them that I'm into. But King of the Monsters, it pulls some of the most epic, grand Godzilla imagery like ever. And when the theme when he shows up in Antarctica to fight Ghidorah, and the theme hits and it's so fucking loud and large, dude, I was so hyped.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that movie when I
In
leave here
theaters,
today. Like I'm serious. I'm thinking about it now.
I've been itching to rewatch it because I have the Blu-ray and it's on my big old TV, so I'm probably gonna watch that pretty soon. So yeah, King of the Monsters is
Number
number 8.
Okay. Nice. Okay, so we're down to number 7 now. Let's see. Hold on. They got rearranged. Blah, 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 blah. Did I say... No, okay. So, number 7 is this movie called... Have you ever heard of this? It's called The Art of Self-Defense.
Yeah, I heard of it.
So, it's Jesse
I need to
Eisenberg.
watch it, yeah.
I think it's Imogen Poots. And, dude, is Alessandro Nivola? I forgot his name. Anyway, it's like a first-time director. It's very similar to The Lighthouse in terms of like deconstructing like hyper masculine type of
Okay,
like
yeah.
tropes, but it's so fucking weird. It's hard to even describe. Basically, Jesse Eisenberg's character is a meek pushover.
Wow, who would have thought?
No, but like this, I'm talking like
No, I know.
he plays those roles. This is like the most like meek pushover little
like,
fucking guy I have ever
simp.
seen. Yes, no, he is such a like.
like,
Anyway, so he gets randomly one night he gets fucking not mugged, like beaten down to shit, like almost death, like he's
Yeah.
almost dying by these bikers in black costumes, and he is traumatized. He's so traumatized that he like he doesn't go back to work. He can't leave his house, type of shit. He's scared of everything, and then he goes to a dojo and starts doing karate, and things just get fucked up and crazy from there. That's all I can say.
when did it come out?
It came out this year. Like
I know, but I'm
actually I don't know. I just saw it. It was on.
not this year.
I don't know if it was like I just saw it on Amazon one day and I rented it. Here, I'll look at the date.
I was
Hold
gonna watch it, but it wasn't. It was too limited to like come to
Yeah, it wasn't.
Little Rock.
Yeah.
So like I forgot about it.
So
But
it
I
came
heard good
out.
things about it. So
It's very it's like the blackest comedy you could have.
Okay.
It's very funny, but it's not funny at all. You know. So it came out in March technically, but I saw it like in
yeah,
September.
No, I'm just saying. I just couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's it's not that long. I'd recommend it. It's very I don't know, it makes you feel kind of nasty.
I like Grease.
It's good. I would
Okay,
recommend
cool.
it highly.
Cool. Number 7 for me. Oh, Jesus. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
There she is.
Let's see. Out of all the Tarantino films of the 2010s, it might be my favorite. Only because Inglourious Basterds was 2009 and not technically in 2010.
I wish I could say well, actually that's my favorite of all time, so never mind.
Because that's easily I think that's his best movie.
Yeah.
I think it's tied with me, though, for favorite with Pulp Fiction because that's such a classic.
Yeah.
But, which one of the 2010s was your favorite of his movies?
It's this one.
Okay, yeah. What do you like about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
What do you like about it?
That's fair.
Because it's still on my list.
Well,
so I'll get to some more what I like about it.
Well, I'm just a complete, utter slut for casual hangout movies. And of course, I like period pieces, especially that are set in like old school Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like Hail Caesar so much,
Yep.
even though that's an older time set than this. But like, I love just classic Hollywood, and this is like right before the golden age hit. And
This is honestly, you could say this is where old Hollywood died.
yeah, that's fair.
That's what people say about that in real life, where Sharon Tate was killed, and that was and then Roman Polanski fled. It was a whole thing. It's a lot of very like
Hey, yeah, that's
old Hollywood died
good
on
point.
that day, really, because she was such a up and coming star in real life that
and it stars DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, who are like some of the biggest stars, and they're getting older, and it like fits right
they're
there.
older Hollywood,
and they both bring their A game, especially Brad Pitt.
especially
He's just,
Brad
like,
Pitt. Dude.
unbelievable.
Oh my god.
And I just like some of the scenes almost like feel like vignettes, like when DiCaprio is doing that film with that little girl, and they're just like talking and shit.
It's one of the best scenes in the movie.
And some of that stuff wasn't originally in it either.
Really?
Yeah, and that to me solidified his character so much. Like him, like scared of being washed up and shit. It was like so much of that was explored in those scenes.
You couldn't stop at 6 whiskey sours. You had to have 7. You had to have 7 goddamn whiskey sours. That's one of my favorite fucking things in that movie. Is him that line read of whiskey sours. No, I agree. It's I mean, I love how it's in real time in terms of like it's 2 days, and then it time jumps, but it's 2 days, and you're in with these people for 2 days, and and people say that Margot Robbie barely had any lines, but she's like the base, she is the
She's
rhythm,
kind of the glue that
the
ties it
rhythm
together.
that keeps happening, and you're just like waiting for something to happen with her because you know what happens in real life. And I don't know, the way he handled it, I thought was awesome.
And she has this like kind of like, I like her ditzy like
her energy
delivery that she has with her lines. I thought it was a lot different from anything else I'd seen her do.
It was very like, if you've seen any video of Sharon Tate,
it's believable.
It's very spot on to how she acted and how it was really That's why in that one moment when she's watching herself, it's actually Sharon Tate, and it's hard to even tell the difference because they look so similar and they act so similar. It's so good.
And she's dude. The line she's like,
you keep going.
Me.
I'm gonna wrap.
I play the klutz.
I play the whatever she does. Yeah, it's so good.
It's like, and it's fucking Tarantino jerking off to the whole concept of the movie. Just like that's everything he's about.
And
some people are like, there are people out there that refuse to watch it because they're like, it's a slight against Bruce Lee.
Oh my god!
Like,
I know.
Do you not get like the tone of the film?
Do you also get that this is fairy tale and that he sets Brad Pitt's character up, because you wouldn't believe Brad Pitt could beat the shit out of these people on acid if we didn't see beforehand that he's a fucking badass.
Holy shit, dude!
It's like that is a plot point that you have to. That's not. It's not real life. This didn't happen in real life.
Yeah.
Ugh. Sometimes people make me mad when they can't differentiate. This is a goddamn movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you know Tarantino's work, like, and what he does with history, like,
for real.
It's just like, come on, you're better than this, world. You're better than this. Yeah, I'll save some of my thoughts too because it's on my list. So,
yeah, okay.
Was that's your number 7? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so down to number 6. Number 7. Okay, number 6 is Little Women.
All right.
Little Women, baby.
Good.
It was going to be number 5, but I had to... Wait, no. Actually, what's my number 5? Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's number 6.
Little Women was actually an honorable mention for me. That doesn't mean anything against it. There's just so many fucking good movies came out in, like, the second half of 2019 that is, like, overwhelming. Yeah. Almost.
Little Women, what can I say? It's... Have you ever read the book or seen any of the other versions?
I feel like I did, but I was young. Mm-hmm. At least I read part of it. I grew up watching the '90s version, so I was very familiar with it.
The TV movies or like the series
one with
or
Christian Bale.
Oh yeah, with Winona Ryder. Yeah. I don't know, the way Greta Gerwig is such a good writer and director. Like she has a style that she already has. She has a distinct style, and it's the way she tells and retells what Little Women is, the way it jumps through time. That's not how it was, you know. The way, and it's so good.
I thought that was a good choice.
Yeah, and it's you're automatically engaged. You're into it, and she does such a better job of like characterizing Amy as like normally Amy's just the total asshole that you don't really like at all. Like at all, and this one she is. Yeah. She's still an asshole. But you get where she's coming from, and you relate and understand her, and then the way man, it's so good.
Also, we have to talk about Florence Pugh because
Florence Pugh. That's another reason why, because Florence Pugh. She also had a year. She had Midsommar, and she had this, and she had Fighting with My Family, which
I just recently watched, mainly because she was in it.
Yeah,
I was like. Damn,
and next year, or this year,
she's about to be in
Black Widow.
And she's shooting something like right now.
She's gonna be a star, and
she's the shit.
She's so good, and she still every comedic moment she kills it. She's so good. What did she say? She's like, I have the best feet in the family. They're small.
I was
they're so good.
Timothy Chalamet, dude.
He's great. He's great in it, but it's hard for me to believe. Like at the very end, when he has the kid, it's just like you look too young to have a kid.
Yeah, you look like younger than me, dog.
Yeah. But that's just a small thing. But no, I love it. They all kill it acting wise, and then fucking Bob Odenkirk pops in.
Bob Odenkirk,
he's like My Little Women. Oh man,
I was like, yes.
And also, it just is
gorgeous. They made him look ancient.
It's gorgeous, and I didn't know this, but she had to fight to get it shot on 35 millimeter. It was like a thing that she had to.
Paid off.
It's gorgeous. The scene on the beach is one of the most beautiful scenes in a movie I've seen in a long time.
That's what I keep coming back to. When I think of that movie, I think of
that scene. Yeah, it is beautiful. I like wholesome movies a lot. I love my fuck. Sure, I don't have like an in between. I like it to be pretty like. On the weird, fucked up side, or I like it to be besides like my Marvel movies, which are just down the middle.
Sure,
it's like that, and then I like wholesome, nice, lovey-dovey, romantic shit. And who are you winking at?
I don't know. Whoever's watching.
Yeah, I love my wholesome shit, and it was a very wholesome, great movie that made me feel good. Walking out the theater, I just feel like a better person. So good.
I was like, I texted my mom afterwards. I'm like, sorry, it's better than the one I grew up watching. It's just easily. I think it's better than Lady Bird personally.
I think it's better than Lady Bird too.
I think Lady Bird was like, okay, there's a lot of good stuff in it, but it's like now she's like taking it to the next level with Little Women.
I agree.
With her filmmaking.
I agree.
So yes, I am glad. What am I trying to say? Oh, I'm gonna definitely show it to my family when Christmas rolls around this year.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a good Christmas movie. That's what it is.
For sure. Because we always watch the other one around Christmas.
And before we end it off, just the whole montage scene of when Beth was sick first. It's like the two exact same parallel shots of she comes down, they're all sitting at the table, they're all happy.
That
she comes down and she's waiting. She wants it to be that same way. Oh my god! It's talking about coming of age movies. The way that crushing. Only problem I have with that movie is Emma Watson to me is not the best actress, and she certainly does not a good American accent. She is. You can just tell that she's British.
Yeah. I let it pass in Perks of Being a Wallflower.
But I rewatched that too. She is so noticeable in that movie. She is speaking in a straight British accent.
But I have to commend her for actually doing shit.
I agree.
Where's fucking Ron Weasley?
I don't know.
What's he doing?
And then
Dan Radcliffe is doing
his weird
edgy,
shit. Weird shit.
That new movie he's in looks
lame
as fuck.
Akimbo, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That looks fucking juvenile.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Little Women. I love Greta Gerwig. I love every single person in that movie. And Alexander Desplat. Great.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Great score.
Yeah.
So that's my number 5. Is that what it is?
6.
Number 6. Okay. Yeah. Number 6. All right.
Number 6. Parasite.
Ooh, shit.
A lot, dude. I've noticed that, like, when I watched Parasite, it was like, it was popping, like, popularity-wise, among, like, film buffs and, like, people that go to see, like, foreign films and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, like, a month later, it, like, started exploding in, like, just the general audience. And now, like, everyone's talking about Parasite, which I thought was crazy.
I mean,
it's exploded, and then once it got the nomination for best film, it exploded.
It's winning everything, dude.
But it reminds me of Old Boy in the way that it's like the one Korean film that everybody knows.
Yeah.
And like it's like a lot of people's first like introduction to this style of like film.
If this is an introduction to Bong Joon-ho for people, oh my god, better for it, because he is beyond his 2 English-speaking films. Oh my god.
Speaking of Korean films, I saw that Burning was on Netflix, so I added it to the queue today because I still haven't seen it.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, Parasite was like, we talked about this on the first podcast, but like I just like the way that it just like the story casually grows and grows and grows, like, and like
You don't know what it is at first.
yeah, at first I'm like,
It's a comedy.
oh, okay, he's gonna be a teacher and this and this. I'm like, oh,
Kind of weaseling their way in.
yeah, and then
some hijinks.
the parasites evolve and grow more complex, if you will. And I like movies that, in like you start so small and by like the end of it is like gone way out of control, and you can't believe that it ever got that far with its concept.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a certain point where something happens, and the whole rest of the movie are like, what?
Well, that to me is what like that encapsulates like what Korean cinema, at least in my limited knowledge and exposure to it, is like they handle tonal shifts better than anything I've ever seen in any movie. And like it's like you can't describe what that movie is like genre wise. It's like a comedy, it's a drama, it's a thriller, what is it? It's a mystery. It's like everything. It's everything. It's to me.
Plus, so many millionaire celebrities are like, Parasite was the best movie of the year. I'm like, okay, dog. Okay, Elon Musk. Well, I'm just trying to think of what I can say about it, other than like its cinematography and lighting, composition, and all that, and it's obviously on point. And the fact I didn't realize that house wasn't a house and it was a set when I watched it. And
so was the fucking street.
When I figured out it was a set, I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
But it makes sense why it would have to be a set if you've seen the movie. Cause
I just love too that like it's gorgeously shot, and a lot of times there's really gorgeous shots that don't really mean anything. They don't have meaning or context to the shot. It just is like, here's a really nice shot.
Yeah.
Not Parasite. Every fucking shot in that movie has like not maybe like a meaning, but it represents something. It's not just there to look nice. You know what I'm saying? Everything is furthering.
In a way, it is supposed to look nice.
Exactly, but and like every shot is there for a reason.
Yeah.
It's furthering the story. It's not just for like like Tarantino. We can go back to that. I love him, but needless shots which is some of my favorite shots in the movie.
It's like eating fucking junk food, like pizza and like donuts and shit.
It's just it's like, oh, so good. I love looking at it, and I want more of it.
Yeah.
Parasite is like, here's beautiful shots that all represent and further and mean, and they all.
That's like the steak and like broccoli and potatoes.
It's
good for you, and like
it's good.
Enriching and.
I agree.
But what else? Is there anything else I want to say about it? I mean, it's briefly touching on it, but like, I'm starting to notice that we need to like keep going on this list because we still have the decade to talk about.
Yeah, that's true.
So your number 5.
Number 5 is Under the Silver Lake.
Okay.
Under the Silver Lake.
It's on mine too. So.
What is it? Number 5 too?
No, it's
okay.
Number 3.
Okay. Yeah, Under the Silver Lake is. I don't even know how to where do I even begin? It's like if David Lynch in The Big Lebowski had a fucking love child, like specifically The Big Lebowski.
No, I get what you're saying.
It's a movie that it really affected me. And I don't even know why, because it's about a guy who is just lingering in L.A. and
he's festering in L.A. really.
He just gets into some weird shit because he likes patterns and codes, and
it all lines up suspiciously well.
And he gets really enamored with this one woman and he meets he has one meeting with her, and he's like totally head over heels in love, and like totally like disgustingly like really like likes and is attracted to her.
Yeah.
And then she disappears, and then he's like, "Wow, where the fuck she go? I gotta find her." Blah blah blah. But it's so much more than that because like
he's a fucking.
He's such a non-character.
Dingus.
He's such a non-character. Like you don't.
Yeah,
like
dude, that's fair.
It's so good that way because like you're like projecting onto him,
and he's sort of like he's judging all of these hollow LAers, yet he's like a hollow LAer.
and he who literally can't afford to live.
Yeah.
like who is a pervert and
yeah, he's a fucking creep.
he's a creep and
Here's what it is. You ready for my hot take? Here's what it is, boys and girls. Under the Silver Lake is the spiritual sequel to Mulholland Drive, and you can't change my mind.
It's very much
It's the way it deals with like the shadowy like powers that be of Hollywood and Los Angeles, and just like the griminess of like.
And not just that, it also like people, specifically men, idolizing women or people, and you don't even know who they are, what they even want.
Yeah.
You're just like, you're mine. I like you. Like it's very much that too, because like at the end of the movie, spoilers, he finds her, and she's like, who are like?
Yeah,
okay.
she's like, oh yeah,
yeah. No, I'm not. I can't come out. See ya. I don't want to. Yeah. And he just is like, oh, like shit. I did all this shit for nothing.
So good.
And it's just like a.
Plus, I love fucking like old Hollywood like conspiracies and like how the inner workings of it work with especially with that music writer who like wrote all the music of like all the famous music and stuff. That's right up my alley.
It's like, very like that's why I say you can project like because he's such a non-character. You really much project you onto him because you're like, ooh yeah, I kind of do want to like yeah, there's something going on and I will say the writing is really good at making these very obscure like little clues. That's a good part of the writing to me is like how he finds these weird obscure things and they all connect in really weird ways and
you're fine with suspending your disbelief even though it's absurd.
And he's really smart. He's like that's the thing. He's smart about it. But he's also a total idiot.
Some of the stuff I'm like, are other people that because the only reason I know that Nintendo Power Matt is because I watched the fucking Angry Video Game Nerd, and it's like people that just don't know this wouldn't. I don't know. It's like
well, that's what I'm saying. He's smart with what he knows. Like he has a specific like skill set.
I just like viewers that had never seen that Nintendo Power.
Well, I think that's why
I know
A24 didn't want to release it. It was like this is too niche and weird.
So yeah, it gets into some niche and or esoteric ideas. And it's like a sprawling like.
Also, it's fucking terrifying in some moments. That owl lady scared the shit. That's like one of the most terrifying scenes in a movie I've seen in a long time. Where that thing is just like, and he is like scared shitless in his house. And he's like, "Where the fuck is it? Where did it go?"
And it's got so many like, not like references, but like kind of like Rear Window shit. And
absolutely Rear Window.
Sunset Boulevard.
I mean,
shit
when she comes out of like that's like when she comes out of the pool. That's fucking Marilyn Monroe in
that one movie where she's like naked but you can't see anything.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it is, but yeah, it's like
is it Some Like It Hot?
Yeah, it's either that one or it's the 8 or it's whatever. It's one of them. It's fucking she had like 3 movies. Anyway, yeah, I don't know.
Feel bad for her.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying is like that's like clear like oh yeah he's like idolizing her as if it's a poster on the wall.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
that sex scene in that movie is so like.
When they're talking about the Kurt Cobain, it's just like
he's such a fucking weirdly unlikable guy.
Yeah. But somehow you are like rooting for him.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't get it.
Even though he's a fucking creep.
But
yeah. That's okay. More people need to see that movie. I can understand why it's polarizing, but it's personally up my alley. The problem, I was gonna pick it up physically, but for some reason A24 only released it on DVD and not Blu-ray, and they did that for Slice, and they did that for a few other releases.
Really?
I'm like, you of all people,
I know,
the fucking underdog, the hero
they
of
dropped
like
the ball with
patrician cinema. And it's like, why are you only releasing certain movies on DVD? And it's like, not everyone wants to fucking own it digitally or watch it digitally.
Yeah.
They need to fucking figure that out because. Also, no Ultra HD for like Midsummer and shit. Like, come on, bro. Also, Midsummer being The director's cut only being on an Apple exclusive. What the fuck is that?
Really, I didn't know that.
That's bullshit.
Wild. That sucks.
But
So that was my number 4. No, that was my number
5.
5. Yes. Okay.
I number 5. Uncut Gems, baby.
There it is, my boy.
Baby.
Holy shit, I'm gonna come. That's just what I say now.
I figured.
This
But the Uncut Gems. First of all, you guys have to understand. We'll get to this in just a little bit. Good Time is one of my fucking favorite movies now, ever. And it's one of my favorites, as you'll see on my decades list. And their new film, Uncut Gems, available on Netflix if you're not in the US, is like, it's the same, like, anxiety attack, shit goes wrong, and you're constantly trying to, like, figure it out as you go kind of thing.
It's a whirlwind.
I love, and it's like, I go to the movies to, like, escape from shit, and it's so stressful, yet I love it so much. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, it is weird. For one, let's just get this out of the way. The score is god tier, next level good score. Daniel Love, I listen to that shit when I'm running, and it is amazing. But yeah, I agree. It's like this, so many bad decisions, and you're just like, how can one person make so many bad decisions in a span of like 2 days? But he does, and he continues to do so, and yet you're still like, please win, like get this shit, win.
Yeah, why do I root for all these greasy fucking characters? And he and he disappears into the role. In my personal opinion, I'm not someone who grew up watching Adam Sandler movies, and I get like some people are nostalgic for some of them. Some of them are obviously better than others, like Billy Madison and what's that other one?
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore. And
Hey,
so,
50 First Dates is.
So I like those from like an outside perspective, but seeing him disappear into this role was like, okay, good, because
It was awesome.
you have to pay us back for Jack and Jill. Not that I watched Jack and Jill, but like,
Yeah.
Jesus. And I like that they made like a 2012 period piece.
Yeah, that's also
And
what.
it's like,
And they had the weekend before before he blew up. Like, I don't know. It's fucking wild
it's
the way
weird.
the way they did that.
And it just like it has such a specific execution in its direction, and you feel like wrapped up in it. And
Well, that's another set of or I guess since they're brothers, I said Greta Gerwig already has like a style. Oh my God, the Safdies, they have a style. And
Safdies definitely
they
have a
have
style.
found their style, and it's like.
I just want to shake their hand.
I know. Honestly, I just want to shake their hand too. It's nonstop, and the way the shit that Howie goes through, and also Arno. Oh my God! Like the unspoken relationship between those two. Like the whole movie, he's beating Howie's ass,
Yeah.
and then there's the one scene later, way into the movie, and he's at the family get together, and there's Arno just sitting there. You don't get anything like
Yeah.
you don't get any type of conversation like, what are you doing here? Like, blah, blah. No, it's just, oh, okay, yeah, they're like related. They have they have familial ties. That shit blew my mind. I was like, that's great writing. That's just showing. It's not telling.
Yes,
It's the perfect show don't tell. It was so good. And so by the end, when he comes to the end and Arno's finally like, okay, maybe so. You're just like, the arcs have all come.
I'm not a sports guy.
Me either. Especially not betting guys.
I've never been more involved with a fucking basketball game in my life until I watched this movie.
Yeah.
Because I was like, there's no way. There's no way.
Kevin Garnett's pretty good in it,
Yeah,
too.
he pulled it off, dude.
Yeah.
He came through. Lakeith Stanfield, he had a year.
Always.
Last couple years, he's blown the fuck
Yeah,
up.
always killing it. Always plays some weirdo.
And overall,
Julia Fox.
and the setup with like the poor miners.
Oh,
at
yeah.
the beginning in the gym, and it's like, okay, this is a great setup.
We get, dude. The opening shot is his
Going
asshole.
through his anus.
Yeah. What? It's so good.
And I kept expecting it to come back with like, oh, you have fucking ass cancer.
Dude, me too. But no,
Yeah.
there's the one scene he's like, oh, you're good.
And it's like,
It was just a routine day. Like,
yeah,
day.
it's just to show that he's like he's
stressed.
but also that like he's got like luck in like ways that he shouldn't.
That's true. Yeah, I
And,
didn't think of it that way. That's definitely true.
And he's pulling through somehow by the skin of his teeth. And,
He's got
but
luck
the ending
on
is
his
like
side.
perfect. The ending.
Yeah,
is
I don't want to say the ending, but
yeah,
the ending
I won't say
is
it is exactly like.
my heart stopped and I got cold sweat and I was just
This
like
is exactly
oh my
what
god.
should happen. The audience reaction in my theater, I was like, oh shit. But yeah, so that's my number 5. What's your number 4?
So my number 4 is back to we're getting some overlap ones now. It's Once Upon a Time.
Yeah,
Oh my god. Let me just really like
go for it.
the way that movie sets up like this alternate history and these two characters where it's a hangout movie, but it's like a friendship movie more than a hangout movie. It's about guys being dudes. It's about guys being dudes. What's better
Really
than
is.
this? No, it's and the way they set up, or Tarantino sets up, like I like how he's becoming more self-aware with his own writing, but not in like a meta bad way. Like there's a scene where he's on the ranch, and in another Tarantino movie, like maybe Inglourious Basterds, it's like, oh, some violent shit's gonna happen because
Over the top.
every single person is like they're saying like these clear like lies, and it's like, oh no. Lie number 1. Oh, don't go in. Lie number 2.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna see this. I'm gonna see what's his face. Goes in there, lies. But there, it turns out, and he gets there. It turns out, no, all of them are being totally truthful. And I love the music that's actually playing on the TV in the house, where it's like, dun, dun, dun. It's like a Bernard Herrmann score.
Oh, okay.
And it's very tense and suspenseful. There's no actual music playing, but as Cliff's walking through the hallway, that music from the actual TV gets louder and louder and louder, as if it's like this weird meta, like, oh yeah, this is suspenseful, but it's like, nah, it's nothing. That's another thing, is like the sound design and the actual, like, there's constant music or radio or TV playing.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. The way, like, the scenes or the music and the commercials inform the scenes. Like, just like that one right there where that music's playing and you feel tense because of that music, but that's not actually the score playing. You get this weird diegetic, like, mishmash. It's so good. And that's why one of the reasons I just, like, a specific
I'm going to
reason.
pay attention to that more when I rewatch it.
It's so good. There's so many moments like that. I mean, look at like the scene where they're just sitting in front of the TV watching Rick's
his show, yeah,
his FBI show, and they're just commenting on it. It's there's something really it's wholesome, and also just like I guess it's what he's building towards, is like there's so many wholesome moments. It's very, I mean, there's like plot points that are, splashing here and there, like the Bruce Lee thing, which also, that joke is hilarious. He does like a 9-minute tangent just for this perfect chuckle by Brad Pitt, and that's it. Like it was all set up for a joke, just to get that chuckle. He's like, yeah,
so
probably
good.
Right. It's amazing. So that, and then, but also it sets up, what happens later. Throwaway shit like the flamethrower. Do you think it's a funny gag, a Tarantino thing? Nope. Coming back later. There's so many things that are planted at the very beginning that you don't think.
He really likes Nazis on Fire.
He does like Nazis on Fire, which is better than Nazis not on fire, honestly.
Here's one change that I would have loved. There's one thing. Because at the movie, at the beginning when Cliff Booth is dropping off Rick Dalton, he's like, he hypes him up. He's like, "You're fucking Rick Dalton." And he's like, "Yeah, I bet." And then, but at the end, towards the end, when Cliff Booth is getting into the what's it called? Ambulance.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like down on himself. That's when he should have said, "You're fucking Cliff Booth."
Yeah. But that's not their.
Should have said that.
That's not their characters, though. They
I
know.
I just feel like it would have worked right there.
It would have worked.
Like,
I would have loved it. But I think the way those characters are, it's like Cliff is the support. Rick is Rick's gonna be Rick, and that's what they know.
Could have been a tiny change in character.
I do agree. I do agree. That would have been nice. It'd been a nice like little wrap up on there.
Yeah.
And then just like the actual ending where Rick is, which is talking about old Hollywood and new Hollywood. Rick is being invited to Sharon's. Sharon's alive, so it's literally the old Hollywood meeting the new Hollywood.
Yeah.
And sharing a moment of like just peace, not violence. And then the titles come up, or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't know. I thought it was just
it's jazz.
It's one of Tarantino's best movies he's ever done.
For sure.
like I'm saying like top.
That was
30.
another grower. It's like I liked it as soon as I watched it, and then the next few days I was like, damn, yes.
Also, just the line reading of "It's a flamethrower, Rick," and he's like, "Yeah." This is one of the best line readings of all time. So yeah, that's my number 4.
Number 4. My number 4 was Avengers Endgame, which we already talked about.
There we go.
Now, I don't know if... Okay. It just stuck the landing.
It did.
It's that high up simply because of the incredible experience I had with my friends and family over the summer. And, like...
That makes sense. No, yeah, I agree.
It's, like, a blast at the movies.
What did I have it at? Number 7? Yeah, or 8?
Number 3. What was your number 3?
My number 3...
We already talked about Endgame, so...
So, my number 3 is The Lighthouse. So,
Okay.
what more can I can just really get into some weird shit that I like that like a lot of the actual paintings and shit that are in that movie. Like you asked me, it's just you can go in a lot, like the Prometheus
Pure
allegories,
Kino,
the fucking
yeah, the Prometheus shit.
also the great like Buster Keaton-esque like visual gags, like when he's coming out of that pipe, it's totally like sideways, and there are a lot of Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin type of like visual like.
Coming in clutch, shooting it on black and white film, dude. Like, come on.
Yeah. What more can I say? More than just Hark. Hark.
Dude, yes. And one
One of the most quotable movies is what I'll say.
I was watching an interview like that came out just a couple of days ago, and they were asking Pattinson about shooting the film. They're like, I heard it sucked, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, I had a blast.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool. And he's like, yeah, it was like, that's why I like to make movies like that. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see what Robert Eggers does next. He is one of the most, like...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, most exciting people in, like, film right now.
Easily.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Lighthouse.
My number 3 was Under the Silver Lake, which we just talked extensively about.
Yeah.
It's just right up my alley, man.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I wanted.
That's what I'm talking about,
do.
the weird shit that it just is, like, right there. It's like the sweet spot of weird shit for me, where it's like,
yeah.
Okay, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I'm just such a fan of, like, conspiracies and, like, powers that be Hollywood shit. So, yeah, number 3, Under the Silver Lake. Number 2.
Burning.
Okay.
Burning. So, if you haven't seen it, it's by, I want to get this, I think it's Kang Sang-do. Hold on.
Someone who's Korean watching this could be like, fuck this
No,
guy.
I had it pulled up. It's Lee Chang-dong. My bad. I was thinking of a different director.
Yeah, sure.
No, I was. It's Lee Chang-dong, and it's, without spoiling it for you, it's a movie, it's a coming-of-age movie.
Oh, great.
But in the very South Korean way, it's more than that. It's a lot of things at once.
Yeah.
And every single beat for me hits. It's a slow movie. One might say it burns a bit. It's a slow burn. Yeah. But I didn't know this. It's based off of a Japanese, I want to say, poem, or I think it's a novel, but it's very poetic. It's a very poetic movie. It's a lot of things mean more than what they mean. It's just about a guy doesn't have a particular place in life. He meets a girl, and then that girl leaves, goes on a trip, comes back with another guy, and it's just about how those characters kind of interact. It's very not plot heavy.
Okay.
It's very character.
That's cool with me.
It's very character, but there is plot, and once it does start to, there is a plot from the very beginning, and you don't start to notice that there was until maybe the very end. I don't know. I'm trying to do my best without just spoiling it for you.
Don't.
It just is. I'm
gonna watch it this week.
It's so beautiful, and it legit had me at the end of the movie just like there's an emptiness. Like it shook me. It was really good. Yeah, Burning. Technically, though, I'm going to say this, it came out in 2018, but I didn't see it until 2019. So, Burning. Fucking.
I guess I'll count because in Europe, in select areas of Europe, Under the Silver Lake came out there, but it didn't come out in the U.S. until 2019, even though I had a legal torrent, we'll say, maybe. Anyway, I have a feeling our number 1 might be the same thing.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What's your number 1?
Midsummer, baby.
Oh, nope. Yeah.
Oh. Midsummer wasn't even on your list?
Nope.
All right, fuck you then. Midsummer, baby, number 1. What's your number 1?
Parasite.
Oh. Okay, cool.
That's the one.
Why
There are a lot of ones that
why is it number one to you above everything this year?
I think it's a masterpiece, and I think it's gonna live on in cinema history more than any other movie that I've seen this year.
Interesting.
It's a movie that is timely, but it's also it's there. It will always be relevant, that type of narrative, but it's also very specific to now. I think it's hilarious. I think the performances are amazing. I can't remember what her name is. The girl who plays the daughter is like low key one of the best parts of the movie. She is so good. Like the poor family daughter. Everything means something. There's I don't know. There are so many shots that actually like had me like gasp open, like mouth open. It's hilarious. It's shocking. I don't want to spoil it because it's still pretty new for a lot of people in America too. But fuck, it's a perfect movie to me. Like it legit is a 10 out of 10 movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
I saw someone on Facebook. They're like, they comment on my friend's status. They're like, how do you already have a Blu-ray of Parasite? It just came out. And he's like, bro, it's been out. Like even in the US, it's already been out for like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah,
like,
it's been out.
And it's like it's just wild. It's like I'm really cool. It's really cool to see foreign cinema explode.
Yeah.
And when it does. And that's why I hope it wins Best Picture.
I hope it does too.
Even though it wasn't my favorite of the year, I hope it wins just for the sake of foreign cinema. Because Roma should have fucking won.
Oh my god.
Best Picture. And it got Best Foreign Film. I was like, that's cool, but like, come on, man.
Should have won Best Picture. The movie
I don't even remember what won Best Picture instead of it.
It was fucking Green Book.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Enough said. Enough said, dude. Oh, fuck God. No. Fuck no. So yeah, my number one's Midsommar, baby. I like the someone's calling you.
Oh.
Midsommar and Hereditary are equal to me because I see them as two sides of the same coin. Midsommar is also kind of a slow burn, like some other films on this list, but Midsommar is it's like almost like a culture study of like something fictionalized, and I love the environment. I love the way drug trips are portrayed on film. I love the way anxiety is portrayed on film and panic attacks.
And trauma.
And yeah.
I mean, that's the movie's trauma.
Ari Aster has some weird
he does.
fucking fetish for trauma because the start of the movie where her parents and sister are like gassed, I was already like, oh Jesus, what am I in for?
Yeah.
And the way the camera like pans past and it goes into the window. I love musical cues, and it like goes into the snow and it's snowing heavy, and then the song like kind of hits and it says Midsommar, dude. I love that kind of shit. And then juxtaposed to like the sunshine and like broad daylight shit that's later to come. It's beautiful. And I know that's just the opening scene, but there's just too much to get into about Midsommar. I love this movie. I watched the director's cut, and I love that too. Here's the thing. It's longer, and all the scenes are extended, but yet somehow it maintains good pacing. The pacing somehow is still like the same, even though the scenes are extended. I was like, what the fuck?
Huh.
And there's a few scenes that are in it that weren't in the original cut. But the original cut is just as good. I just think it's a good complimentary to watch the director's cut if you haven't. And I love this movie, and I've been thinking about it so much for the last like 6 months. 6 or 7 months. Longer now. Either way. Ari Aster, I think he got these 2 trauma movies out of his system. I'm excited to see what he does next.
I'd love to see a happy, wholesome movie.
Well, he says he's not doing a horror movie next, so I want to know what he's going to do. Midsommar, best of the year. Now, let's move on to a few honorable mentions of the year.
Yeah.
I'm just going to list mine out.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions. Well, the reason why 1917 is on this list, because when I made this list, I couldn't decide whether if it was 2019 or 2020, because its wide release was in 2020, but its limited original release and as well as festival releases was in 2019. So it would have probably made this top 10 somewhere, but now I have to just say it's an honorable mention. But I love that movie so much. it's not like Paths of Glory, but it's fucking good, and we're in short supply of World War One movies, so of good ones. Honorable mentions: Knives Out, which is a great murder mystery. Alita: Battle Angel, which was better than I expected. It's a solid sci-fi if you're in need of a good sci-fi with world building and kind of some fresh shit in there. It's not the most solid movie, but I really liked it. Rocket Man. I don't even listen to that much Elton John, and I was captivated by this
that's a good movie.
And I liked
Taron Egerton is a great actor.
Yeah, and the musical sequences were so well done. Invader Zim: Enter the Florpus. We got a fucking series finale film for Invader Zim, and it was just as good, if not better, than the series. And it was so like my 10-year-old self was so happy to see that happen in 2019.
Yeah, that's wild.
And Booksmart.
Yeah, that was one of mine.
Which was a great 12th grade kind of coming of age movie, and what makes it different is that these two girls spent their whole time in high school doing jack shit except studying and being smart, yet they're going to the same goddamn college that the kids that party and actually cut loose are going to, and they can't stand it.
And they're all smart too.
Yeah, they're all smart too, and that's so relatable because I remember in high school all the honor students were fucking pothead motherfuckers, yeah. And I was like, bro. And some of my friends who were studying did all the GT shit, and I'm like, bro, I have the same fucking degree that you do from this high school. So that was relatable.
Also, Billie Lourd steals that movie.
Oh, Billie Lourd's hilarious, and I hope to see her break out.
Yeah,
and
she's so funny.
There's a perfect sequence in this movie. I'm not saying it's a perfect movie, but there's a sequence in this movie that it's technically perfect, and it's when the lesbian chick, I can't remember her name.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But she starts to feel herself enough to where she jumps into the pool and she's swimming around and the camera follows her and she's starting to feel herself and it's beautiful.
It was Sofia Coppola as fuck.
And then, and she gets out of the water and sees her crush kissing someone else. And it just that whole sequence is one of the best coming of age sequences from any movie ever.
Yeah.
And then finally, my boys, Jay and Silent Bob reboot, because it was thankfully better than I expected, and I'm here for the fucking jerk off Kevin Smith universe bullshit that comes with it. And so that was a lot of fun. And it was weirdly poignant and it got weirdly serious. I didn't know Jason Mewes could actually pull a fucking fat, dramatic acting scene out, but he did, and it was interesting because it deals about him and his child that he didn't really get to know growing up, and it was just weird that that Kevin Smith pulled it off. I was like, oh, cool. So yeah, those are my honorable mentions. What are yours?
So I had Knives Out, another one of mine.
Yeah.
I love that movie. It's great. It just didn't make my top 10. Same with Uncut Gems. I love that movie, but it's not one of my favorites of the year.
Okay.
I love it though.
Real quick about Knives Out. The real test for murder mysteries is if you can watch it a second time and it's still enjoyable, and I can attest that it is.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's nice.
Because for one, without spoiling it, it's not, but it is. It is a murder mystery, but it's not.
Okay, yeah, well, whatever.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean.
But that's what I'm saying. It's so rewatchable because you watch it a second time, you're like, okay, now I can pick up on a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Us.
Oh yeah.
People.
I forgot about Us. I need
people
to
didn't like
rewatch
that
it.
one as much. It was really good to me. I thought it was a great Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, exactly. The concept was fucking awesome.
Glass. People also, that was an iffy movie for people. People liked the first.
I never saw Split. I only saw Unbreakable.
Okay, so I thought it was good. It was a good movie. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was just good.
Sure.
Okay. Also, I love Anya Taylor-Joy. She's so good as an actress. Also, I want her to be in more shit.
Yeah.
Booksmart was another one. Hold on, I gotta look at my list. Yeah, The Farewell.
Yeah, dude, I should have wrote that down.
Farewell
was a definite cool movie.
It was very good. Joker, I like that movie a lot. Okay. Last Black Man in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
That movie is also
Obama's favorite movie of the year.
It's heartfelt and it's very it's poignant. It's very it has a message. That's about it. That's the big ones that I can think of that I put down that immediately came to mind. Yeah, it was a lot of movies this year.
You got a lot of good movies this year.
There's one that's my worst of the year.
I'll list my least favorites.
Okay.
Real quick. Hellboy, fucking
I
piece.
didn't even see that one.
Fuck that movie.
Yeah.
I only saw it because I had the AMC stubs where you can see 3 movies a week.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Bother.
I didn't really want to, but I was so fucking bored.
Yeah.
And it was the most juvenile, stupid, shitty movie.
Yeah.
And it was almost like vindicating for like the original versions.
I love those movies.
Yeah, I do
Those
too.
are
I was
nice.
like, man, I wish they could have made a 3rd one. But Greta, bro, that
Greta.
movie fucking sucked ass.
Greta, what's
It was
that?
so boring. It was just like a generic fucking thriller horror where this lady,
I've never
this
heard of
older
it.
lady's like obsessed with this
Was that
girl.
Netflix?
And she no.
Oh, yeah, I've never even heard of
Yeah,
it.
it was stupid. Pet Cemetery, the remake.
Yeah, I didn't bother with that one either.
Here's the thing: is that it genuinely has some cool ass set pieces.
Yeah.
It's just a stupid fucking mediocre movie.
Okay.
Toy Story 4, I hated.
Didn't watch it.
The animation was beautiful and top notch, but everyone was out of character, and it was so obvious that it didn't need to exist. And it retroactively ruined the ending of the 3rd one, in
Really?
my opinion. Yeah.
Okay,
Which
yeah, I
sucks
didn't even
because
watch
the 3rd
it.
one is.
God tier.
So do not watch Toy Story 4
Yeah.
if you like the original 3. Just leave it alone.
All right,
Unless you're a fucking 6-year-old who will consume anything. I do not like that movie. And then these are not in any particular order. And then The Beach Bum. And I love Harmony Korine, Kids, and Gummo, and Spring Breakers. I like all that shit. But like, Beach Bum just didn't go far enough with the weird, greasy shit that he likes to do. I was just kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
And I didn't hate it, but I put it on least favorites because I expect more out of that guy.
Yeah.
So those are my least favorites. What did you hate?
I have 2. I have one that I hate, and then
Yeah.
I have a least favorite.
Okay.
Least favorite is The Rise of Skywalker. Not because I hate it or anything, but it's because it was such a disappointment. And we've already gotten into it.
It is a very disappointing. Yeah.
That's why it's on.
Go
that's
back to the
that's why
previous
it's on one
episode.
of my least favorites because I
Okay.
can't not put it there after.
Okay, that's
also,
fair.
I've thought about it more since that time. It just is such a disappointment for me. Like it's.
Especially once you've seen
Yeah.
the concept art for
Yeah.
Colin Trevorrow's film.
Dude, what did I say on that podcast? I said there was that rumor of the fucking Mortis shit, and then that the next fucking week came out that was happening. I was like, God damn it! Oh my god,
we can't get into that.
Yeah, fuck
no
it.
way.
My least favorite was, worst of the year was that. But the actual movie that I hated, that I wanted to fucking jump out of a window, was It Chapter 2.
Oh really?
That
Okay,
movie
I didn't see it.
Fucking sucks donkey dick. Donkey dick.
I only saw the first one out of boredom.
Out of like, for one, it's the most boring ass movie I've ever seen in my life.
Isn't it like 2 hours and 45 minutes?
Yes.
Why?
2, Bill Hader couldn't even save it.
That's a shame.
Neither could fucking James McAvoy. And they have so much charisma.
Yeah.
Could not save it. They were dry as a dust bowl, dude. They were so dry.
Yeah.
Fucking every scene was like, I guess we gotta split up. And then it's like, oh no, here comes Pennywise. And it's like, boogity, 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 boogity. And they're like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then fucking, they bully it to death.
Really?
They bully. They're like, fuck you, you suck. Eat shit and die. Fuck you. And then there's like this weird subplot where they made Richie, Bill Hader's character, like gay. Which is fine, but it wasn't even like a.
But it was probably contrived.
It was contrived because there wasn't like any type of like development of it more than just there was one scene where it's flashback. Oh, let me get into the fucking flashback scenes where these kids they're clearly way older now and they de-age these kids' faces and
They're de-aging children now.
it looked fucking horrifying.
Jesus.
It looked horrifying. Okay, well, yeah, and then back to the Richie thing. They made him gay, which is it's fine. But there's one scene, and basically he gets called the F word once, and it's like, oh. And then in present time, it's like, oh no, he clearly, he had feelings for the other one, the hypochondriac one, whatever the other one's name, and that one dies, and it's like, oh, sad Richie. Because he didn't get to love his
love. That sounds
love.
lame.
And then they make suicide like a good thing, like because one of the kids kills himself because he's so in the book, and in the other versions it's like he kills himself before they even meet back up because he's so fucking terrified.
Yeah.
And this version it's like, no, I killed myself because if I went there, you guys wouldn't be able to do it. Literally, and oh my god, ooh boy, oh, it's disgusting on so many levels. It sucked. It fucking sucked. Fuck. It sucked. It was so bad.
Okay. I had no interest in seeing it anyway, so.
Oh. I get angry at that movie. Okay.
I didn't have any movies that I got that angry about.
Well,
okay, Rise of Skywalker to a certain extent, but I didn't hate the Rise of Skywalker. Yeah. It's still kind of above average entertaining popcorn flick. Star Wars is supposed to be more than that. We can't get into that again. God.
All right.
God.
Moving on.